A boy wakes up as a doll, gets gifted to a crazy duke, and his adorable look instantly wins the duke's heart. Now he's sharing the duke's bed and even getting bathed by him. When the boy drinks too much, he loves playing claw machines and he always sells whatever he wins the next day. This time he spent 300 grand to win a little pink one, but the second he touched it, he passed out. When he opened his eyes again, he became traveled to another world. At least he could move freely and his limbs worked fine. Standing at the edge of the table, the boy felt desperate. This was way too high. But what if falling down would wake him from this crazy dream? Of thinking this, his clever little brain had an idea. He threw all the dolls around him onto the floor, so he could land without pain. But suddenly the door burst open, scaring the boy stiff. From their conversation, he learned the brown-haired guy was named Levi. That name sounded really familiar. Then he heard a duke aloud. Now he was sure he'd entered a novel he once read. The main character was a psycho duke who loved imprisoning people, and Levi was his aide who escaped to seek the emperor's protection. And now as a doll, he was about to be taken away by Levi. He tried to struggle free, but made too much noise and caught Levi's attention. The boy instantly froze. He didn't want to be burned as a cursed doll. Luckily, Levi thought it was just his imagination. The boy was relieved the story hadn't started yet. He just needed to avoid any connection with the crazy duke. But then Levi gave him to the duke as a birthday present. He was screwed. Could he even survive this? The boy entered the novel world as a doll, and became the duke's adorable pet. The duke brought the boy home, but even as a doll, he still got hungry. Starving, he stared at the food on the table, drooling. To eat it, he'd have to climb down from the bed. Suddenly the duke rolled over, and the boy covered his mouth, terrified. The duke couldn't find out, or based on the novel's personality, he'd probably lose even the cotton stuffing in his belly. Luckily the duke didn't wake up. He got a look at that gorgeous sleeping face, but first things first, he needed food. The boy leaned over the bed edge carefully. Oh my god, why was it so high? But if he missed his chance, there'd be no next meal. Thinking this, he tried his best, took a running start and jumped. He hit the floor with a thud. The soft cotton stuffing cushioned his fall pretty well. Great. Now he just had to climb up the table. He stretched out his chubby little hands and started climbing. With such a big doll head, it was really hard to climb. After struggling forever, he made it onto the table. But then footsteps came from behind. The duke had woken up. Looking at the doll on the table, he was confused. He remembered it wasn't there before. The boy broke into a cold sweat. He was done for. He'd be discovered. The duke pinched the doll's head, wondering if he put it there, or if the doll moved by itself. Then he nervously threw the doll back onto the bed. It definitely couldn't have moved by itself. The boy felt devastated now. He hadn't even eaten anything yet. The supposedly ruthless duke had been scared off by a doll. The boy stayed upside down all night until the duke finally left. He jumped off the chair and decided to escape now. But then he turned and got distracted by the gemstones on the table. Who could resist a big shiny diamond ring? But just as he was about to sneak away, he ran right into the duke. The doll and the man locked eyes, both scared of each other. The atmosphere got awkward fast. The duke quickly called his servants in to check the doll. The boy breathed a sigh of relief. As long as the duke still thought he was a doll, he'd be fine. He let the servant flip him around and examine him, completely forgetting about the big diamond ring in his head. The duke and servant got into a heated discussion. Then the duke snatched the doll back and squeezed it repeatedly. Something this weird should just be thrown in the dark room. But the boy made way too much noise thrashing around in the drawer. The duke got so spooked he called Levi over. Meanwhile, the boy couldn't stand being in the drawer anymore. The moment he climbed out, he heard the duke say he'd burn him. Panicked, he dropped the doll act and shouted no. Well, now he was really done for. Thinking fast, he started repeating the same phrase over and over, pretending to be a talking doll. But now not only the duke wanted to burn him, even Levi agreed. The boy quickly dropped to his knees and begged, "No, please spare me. I'm really not some weird thing. I don't know how to explain it. I just woke up like this." The boy rambled through his life story between sobs, hoping they'd let him go. But the duke thought it was absurd. So what about all his fear these past days? He walked up to the boy with a cold smile. "You want me to believe that? Why would I let you go?" The boy held up the diamond ring and got down on one knee. He'd become the duke's most beloved doll. The duke's cold expression broke the boy's heart. Was his life about to end here? He tried asking Levi for help, but Levi refused without even thinking. Suddenly the boy's stomach made a huge noise. He was really hungry. If possible, could I eat first? As food was brought to the table, the boy cried tears of joy. This was delicious, that was delicious too. His cheeks were stuffed full, and the duke couldn't look away. The duke asked the boy his name. After learning it was Xiaolo, he had Levi explain the law to him. Xiaolu, the diamond ring in your hand is enough to make you disappear. The boy quickly took off the ring, held it with both hands, and knelt on one knee. "I'm sorry, please forgive me this once. I'll do anything you say." The duke wanted exactly this result. "Good, then you better behave." The boy was overjoyed that he wasn't guilty. "Thank you." After that, he became the duke's personal companion pet. Looking out the window, the boy wondered where they were going. But the duke got angry again. "First, don't call me Hai. Second, just call me Mahai." The boy suddenly understood. Mahai wanted that kind of vibe. "Hi, where are we going?" "You're not selling me, are you?" As soon as he said it, the carriage went silent. Before Levi could cover the boy's mouth, the duke gave an order. "Levi, throw him out the window. Know your place. I never gave you permission to be this bold." The boy frantically waved his chubby little limbs. "I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I'll be careful." The duke became a dad, the boy became a mom, and the baby dragon egg will hatch soon. Learning they were going to see the emperor, the boy's little brain worked fast. He remembered in the novel, after Levi escaped the duke to seek the emperor's protection, the duke rebelled. But what was the ending? Strange. He definitely finished it. So why couldn't he remember the ending? The boy suddenly felt hopeless. Could he ever go home? Seeing the boy's low spirits, the duke couldn't help but poke his head. "What are you looking at? Standing there all still." The boy jumped up, startled, and quickly said the scenery outside was beautiful. He soon got lost in the palace's gorgeous views. The duke's lips curved up. Looks like he really did pick up an interesting little thing. After getting off the carriage, the boy lost his freedom to move. He was stuffed in the duke's pocket and told not to come out. The boy wanted to cry. If he'd known, he wouldn't have come along. Soon they met the emperor. The emperor dismissed all the servants and started complaining about how hard it was being emperor. He tried to get the duke to take over and wanted Levi as his aide. The duke and Levi were used to it and didn't even respond. Then the boy couldn't take it anymore. It was way too stuffy in the pocket. The emperor noticed the little movement in the pocket. The boy suddenly popped out, locking eyes with the emperor. Then he accidentally slipped and started falling out of the pocket. "I'm gonna fall. My hey, catch me." The emperor was curious what this was. The boy quickly introduced himself, but the emperor's first reaction was that weird things should be burned. Luckily, the duke spoke up for the boy. The emperor chuckled. "In that case, let's talk business." Then an egg was brought in. "I'm leaving this for you guys to raise." The boy was thrilled. Let's call him Lucky. From now on, I'm your dad. The boy ate and threw up. Could dolls get pregnant too? The Duke brought the egg home. The boy's paternal love exploded. He didn't even do prenatal education with the egg. The Duke teased him for wearing socks when he was very bigger than the egg. The Duke called the boy to rest. The boy hesitated. Even though he was a doll, could he really lie next to him? What if he got squashed? The Duke didn't give him a chance to speak. The boy quickly said goodnight to the egg, then lay down on the soft hands. Suddenly he felt something covering him. It was the Duke's personal handkerchief. Hearing the boy's laughter, the Duke turned away with a slight smile. Xing Shuoli appeared out of nowhere. Even though he complained a lot and wasn't easy to deal with, he brought a lot of fun to the Duke's boring life. But suddenly one day the Duke noticed Xiaolu had been throwing up every time he ate for over 10 days. The Duke couldn't help but wonder, could dolls get pregnant too? The Duke tried to stay calm. Dolls could already talk and move, so maybe it wasn't impossible. Just then, the boy walked toward the Duke with a serious face. My hi, I need to talk. The Duke nervously swallowed. Could it really be true? The boy spread his legs and shouted, I want rice. Then he weakly fell to his knees. Please let me eat rice. I'm sick of butter and cheese. Oh, the boy felt so wronged. He really wanted some spicy hot soup. He curled up on the table sobbing. Life had no meaning without rice. The Duke's face went dark, and he'd been thinking all that. Looks like I've been too nice to you lately. The boy suddenly remembered the person in front of him was the ruthless Duke. He tearfully picked up the bread on the table. Sorry, I'll eat it. Oh my god, the baby dragon ate the boy the moment it was born. After the Duke scolded the boy, he picked up the plot again. After spending time with them, he'd gradually grown attached to the novel characters. Lucky wasn't in the plot, so maybe the story hadn't started yet. The boy knew once the story started, my high would make Levi's life miserable, so he tried to hint that Levi should stay away from the Duke. But Levi said the Duke just had a cold exterior but a kind heart. Plus, Levi was helping him find a way to turn back into a human. The boy paced back and forth on the table. Should he just tell Levi the truth and escape together? But would Levi believe this was a novel world? He'd probably turn around and tell my high. Even stranger, why couldn't he remember the rest of the plot? The boy ran on his short little legs to the incubator. Lucky, what should Dad do? Suddenly there was a cracking sound from the incubator. The boy's wailing stopped abruptly. The egg glowed with tiny sparkles and slowly cracked open. The boy's eyes went wide. How could it be so fast? He wasn't mentally prepared. He anxiously circled the incubator. Where was the button to open it? The Duke was drawn by the boy's shouting. The boy grabbed the Duke's sleeve and shook it. My arms are too short. Help me open it. The egg had already broken through. The Duke was infected by the boy's excitement and watched intently as the new life was born. A thick tail, powerful wings, and an adorable baby dragon hatched. It made chirping sounds at them. Lucky lifted its hind leg, and the pink pop had waved in front of the boy. The boy's heart melted. Those big round eyes. His Lucky was definitely the cutest in the world. Before he finished speaking, the baby dragon opened its mouth wide and bit the boy's head. Well, now only the baby dragon was happy. Not only did the Duke tear the clothes, he broke the doll too. Lucky bit the boy a wooden leg. The Duke had to use all his strength to pull the boy out. Oh, Xiaolu, are you okay? The boy was filthy all over. He didn't have time to respond to the Duke and got mad at the baby dragon. How dare you bite your dad? That's outrageous. The baby dragon said nothing, just kept radiating cute vibes. He hit the boy right in the heart, and he couldn't stay mad. The boy jumped down from the Duke's hands and poked with his little finger, asking if he looked terrible now. The Duke was brutally honest. Yeah, like a rag, but it's okay. The boy's anger flared up again. But the next second, the Duke grabbed him for a bath. The boy resisted and started a tug of war with the Duke. Give me back my clothes. The Duke wouldn't give up either. I have to take them off to wash you. Stop squirming. You want to stay dirty. There was a ripping sound. The doll clothes were completely torn. The Duke quickly tossed the doll into the bath. Stay still. I'll buy you new clothes. He didn't hold back at all, scrubbing hard at the dirty spots. The result was not only was the boy's face crooked up, his body wasn't round anymore either. He was completely misshapen. The Duke felt a bit guilty. Well, there was a small problem in the final step. The boy went crazy thinking about it. That's a small problem. How could you wring me out so hard? The Duke coughed lightly. Sorry, it's my first time washing a doll. I didn't think it through. The boy tried hard to open wrinkled eyes. I can't move my limbs. You know how to get me back to normal, right? The Duke didn't dare answer. His eyes darted around awkwardly. The boy was confused, then understood. My hi, why won't you look me in the eye? After squeezing and rubbing here and there, too little Owie was done. The boy's cursing caught the guard's attention. The guard kicked the door open and rushed in with his sword. Your Grace, are you alright? How dare you insult the Duke? I, the captain of the knights, will never forgive you. He stopped mid-sentence. The guard looked at the Duke, then at the wrinkled doll in the Duke's hands. Oh no, had he just walked in on the Duke's weird hobby? The Duke had been acting strange lately. He used to always eat with the knights, but now he never showed up in the dining hall. Before, they thought the Duke stayed in because he had important things to think about. But now looking at this, the guard stared at the doll, deep in thought. The Duke was about to say something when the guard snatched the doll from his hands. Your Grace, I told you whether you date or socialize, it's fine. But you not only put a diamond ring on the doll, now you're baiting him too. The Duke instantly realized Kai Galam definitely misunderstood something. It's not like that. Kai Jilam, just calm down. The guard pats his chest. Look, while I respect your secret hobbies, as captain of the knights, I absolutely cannot accept this. The Duke waves the doll around, hoping the boy will help clear things up. But no matter how much he shakes it, the boy doesn't. He looks closer and sees the boy's face full of mischief. The Duke is mad, but the Duke says nothing. He takes the doll and heads to the balcony. You're right. Why am I holding this weird doll anyway? So long, Xiao. Let's never meet again, not even in the next life. After all this drama, the Duke's name is finally cleared. With the guard's help, the boy gradually returns to normal. The Duke watches the boy and feels strangely irritated for some reason. He snatches the doll back, planning to do it himself. After a painful wail, the boy hugs the mirror, totally in love with her. Round little arms and legs, a symmetrical face. Wow, this is how a doll should look. Mikhail, this effect is amazing. Little Owie baby is finally getting new clothes. This is exactly the vibe I wanted. The Duke is pretty proud of himself. It's all thanks to me, really. Even the guard can hardly stand it. But your Grace, you almost squashed little Elio. The boy realizes at this moment that he got no clothes on. He twists his whole body into a pretzel. He glares hard at the Duke. My one and only outfit was ripped up by a certain someone. The Duke realizes this isn't right either, so he orders the guard to contact Lady Benz, have her make a new outfit based on the clothing straps in the bathroom. The guard looks doubtful. Lady Benz has always made clothes for the Duke's family. She's the most famous dressmaker in the empire. Many nobles commission her to make their clothes, which means good rumors will bad. She knows all the noble gossip better than anyone. If Lady Benz is in charge of making doll clothes, rumors will probably spread that the Duke has an illegitimate child. Even if Lady Benz keeps her mouth shut, rumors always get blown out of proportion in an instant. But what he's actually more worried about is, the guard watches the two of them interacting. The Duke is taking out his personal handkerchief to drape over little L. The guard sighs. The Duke hasn't been this happy in ages. What should I do? The crazy Duke's heart is racing. Is this what it feels like to have a crush? Little OU ends up wrapped in the Duke's handkerchief. He's got complaints about it. Life is already hard enough. After turning into a doll, he has to dress like this. The boy lets out a deep sigh. He's about to take a step when he trips on the handkerchief. Falling doesn't hurt, but this is just too pathetic. A perfectly good person turned into a doll. Now he has to suffer all kinds of humiliation. The boy can't take it anymore. He rolls around on the table, throwing a tantrum. Why are you doing this to me? Nothing goes right. I hate this world. The Duke stands there helpless. How strange. Why does seeing little Liu cry make his heart hurt so much? He can't help but place his hand on his chest. He really can't understand himself. So he awkwardly changes the subject. It's lunchtime. The boy's still sulking and says he doesn't want to eat. But the Duke doesn't scold him. Instead, he gently reminds him the servants are coming in, so don't move. The boy lies there stubbornly. Why should he bother figuring out what the Duke's thinking? Suddenly, he does a backflip. This smell is so familiar. A spicy flavor different from butter and cheese. Could it be spicy beef soup? The Duke explains he had a chef make a soup called goulash. The boy is so moved that tears drip from the corners of his mouth. Mikhail, you're so good to me. Then the boy opens his mouth to accept the Duke's feeding. The moment the soup hits his mouth, the taste of home fills his nose. Yes, this is exactly the flavor he wanted. Little Lulu in his little dress has a certain charm too. Eating the taste of home. The boy hugs the spoon and cries happy tears. But the baby dragon suddenly starts squawking loud. The boy gets mad just looking at the dragon. That is not your food. Why do you only want to eat me? The Duke quietly adds from behind. Maybe because you look like the easiest target. The boy refuses to accept this and plans to teach the dragon. But the next second, bites the doll's hand. Just then, Li Bai comes in to report the clothes are ready. He walks in on this dramatic scene of pulling and biting. The boy doesn't care about struggle. He finally has clothes. But when the box opens, it's not fancy clothes, but a gorgeous princess dress and lots of cute accessories. The boy throws the dress away immediately. Is this something he can wear? The Duke asks Li Bai to look for something the boy can actually wear. Finally, Li Bai finds a shirt and pants at the very bottom. As the boy takes the clothes, he doesn't forget to make the Duke turn around. The Duke chuckles. He wasn't planning to peek anyway. The boy in his new outfit has a totally different vibe. Totally a little noble gentleman. Li Bai pulls a letter from his jacket and hands it to the Duke. Duke Ashland's house sent an invitation. The boy's heart jumps to his throat. He remembers that in the novel, he's as crazy as Mikhail. Now not only are his hands pinned down, but he has to endure the Duke's interrogation. The boy remembers in the later plot, Ashland will kidnap Li Bai to threaten Mikhail. And he'll try to pry Mikhail's weaknesses out of Li Bai. What the boy didn't expect, Mikhail actually accepts the invitation. The showdown between lunatics is about to begin. At mealtime, the Duke has servants bring in fragrant rice. The aroma drifts straight into the boy's heart. The boy eats happily and gets bolder. He asks the Duke if there's any alcohol, and he remembers he turned into a doll after drinking too much before. Maybe if he drinks again, he'll turn back. One glass after another drinking till he's totally wasted. He falls to the floor and passes out. When the boy wakes up, he finds his hands are tidy, and the Duke is sitting on the sofa not far away. The Duke gets closer step by step. The boy breaks into a cold sweat. He can't remember anything from last night. The Duke snorts coldly. I should be the one asking you. Seeing the boy frozen in place, the Duke asks again coldly. I'm asking you one last time. I don't have much patience. The boy stammers out something about being very crazy. The Duke raises an eyebrow. You're tied up like this, and you still think you can escape. Now the boy remembers everything. Last night he actually told everything the Duke did to Li Bai in the novel, and he confessed he's been trying to run away this whole time. The boy starts babbling and begging for mercy, but the Duke isn't easily fooled. You think I believe these lies? The boy drops to his knees with a thud. He's better at sweet talking than begging the Duke for mercy. The boy notices something odd in the Duke's expression. The Duke doesn't seem angry about being betrayed. Well, thinking that's the boy burst into tears. How can you just jump to conclusions? Don't I need to go find my own body? The Duke isn't buying it. He remembers last night the boy said he was running away, and that he read about what happened between him and Li Bai. The boy's crying stops abruptly. Before he can think it through, the Duke picks him up. You better tell me everything before I tear you to shreds. In the end, the Duke learns everything. The boy sits on the floor while behaving. Mikhail seems calmer than he expected. The Duke can't really understand why he would break Li Bai's ankle. Now that's a good question. The boy wants to know why too. Luckily the mood has eased up now. The boy thinks now's a good chance. In the novel, Li Bai always goes against the Duke, so maybe he can try going along with him. He leaps up and hugs the Duke tight. This sudden move throws the Duke off completely. What are you doing? The boy clings to the Duke's clothes. I want to stay by Mikhail's side forever. Even if Mikhail tells me to get lost, I won't leave. I'll never leave you. The Duke sighs and lifts his hand to hug back. The boy knows he's made it through this safely. If that's the case, then he'll take a different path from the original story. The boy finally gets his freedom back. He happily plays with the baby dragon. Even though the Duke is busy working, his eyes keep drifting to the boy. The boy is so round and chubby today too. The boy realizes the Duke is staring at him. He throws himself into the Duke's arms, acting cute. How long does he have to keep this act up? Sure, sucking up to Mikhail got him untied. But now the doors and balcony have locks and security bars. Even though Li Bai says it's to keep the dragon from escaping, the boy knows perfectly well it's to keep him from running away. The Duke brings the boy to the dressing room. He asks which banquet outfit the boy likes. The Duke is actually taking him to Ashran's banquet. He can only pretend to be happy, while internally complaining about whether the Duke has really lost it. The boy watches the Duke's expression carefully. He cautiously picks the dark blue one. As expected, the Duke's face darkens. In the end, he puts on the gold one that matches the Duke's outfit. The Duke also finishes dressing and walks out. Setting the novel aside, Mikhail's face is seriously handsome. The boy barely finishes praising the Duke's hat when he's shocked by what the Duke does. Dressed so nicely. Why would you stuff him in your chest pocket? He tries to get Li Bai and the others to talk and sense him to the Duke, but those two quietly look away, powerless to help. The Duke chuckles. If you're that embarrassed, there's another way. He suddenly pulls out his sword. We could just take out all the cotton and fabric, right? The boy instantly shrugs his little mouth. He obediently pushes on the pocket. The Duke doesn't say anything more, so he doesn't know what the boy meant. He can be sure of one thing, when the boy said he was going to run away, he could actually hear his friend calling. The boy follows the Duke to Duke Ashran's estate. The Duke sees this and reminds the boy to behave today. Pretend to be a regular doll. The boy grunts and says nothing. He wouldn't dare act up. Ashran is the other lunatic in the novel. He just doesn't know why as soon as he got here, his head started throbbing. But even so, everyone's eyes keep drifting over. The no-nonsense Duke actually has a doll on his chest. He can feel it. Li Bai following behind also realizes something's wrong. He suggests he carry the boy instead, but the Duke refuses without a second thought. Ashran invited him. To him, it doesn't matter one bit. Plus then, the announcer loudly declares Lord Miko's entrance. The whispers around them grow louder. Count Wilson eagerly comes forward to greet him. The boy remembers this guy. Give a big diamond ring on the boy. The Count glances at the boy and immediately starts flattering. The Duke is quite eye-catching today as well, but the Duke's words shock everyone. Because I have a child, well, the whole room gasps, but the Duke remains unfazed. He raises an eyebrow. Why so surprised? The child likes dolls. As the Count leaves, Ashran comes over with a wine glass. Long time no see, Your Grace. My most sincere greetings to you. After exchanging pleasantries, they immediately start trading barbs. Ashran chuckles lightly. It seems during my time abroad, the Grace is tasty. Haizi has become childish. It's cute, right? Ashran's face he stiffens. That little buddy too. His head feels like it's splitting open. In a daze, he seems to hear his friend calling his name. The boy finally transforms from a doll into a he, but when he tries to sneak away, Ashran spots him. The boy clutches his head in pain. His head's about to explode. His friend's voice and the Duke's voice ring in his ears at the same time. In the blink of an eye, the boy's figure stretches taller. The Duke also collapses to the ground. The boy comes to and opens his eyes. He feels like his perspective has changed. Long legs, a delicate face. He's actually turned back into a human. What should he do now? There's still at Duke Ashran's estate. The boy blinks his big watery eyes. Looking all pitiful, he seeks the Duke's help. But the Duke seems to be in shock. He stares at the boy blankly. The boy feels a chill on his body. He looks down and realizes his original clothes are all torn. The Duke swallows and takes off his cloak. He drapes it over the boy. Anyway, let's get out of here first and head home. The boy thinks so too. But right now he can't stand up at all. The Duke sighs and picks the boy up. After turning back into a human and being treated this way, the boy allegedly feels shy. The Duke checks outside the door cautiously. He finds Li Bai and the others are right there. He doesn't have time to explain. After quickly introducing the boy to them, he orders the guard to prepare the carriage. Li Bai is in charge of helping the Duke avoid everyone. The Duke absolutely cannot have his name dragged through them. Finally, with Li Bai's arrangements, the Duke successfully avoids the crowd and gets the boy into the carriage. The boy has mostly recovered by now. At least his head doesn't hurt anymore. Li Bai and the guard return at this moment. Now they have time to look at the boy carefully. A handsome face, soft hair. A total heartthrob. Little did they know, Ashran getting some air on the second floor terrace saw everything. A cute doll transforming into a living person. Last time we saw the boy, Li Bai and the guard are both mesmerized by the beautiful boy in front of them. The boy awkwardly stretches his face, then suddenly real. He's a human with fingers now. The Duke explains to Li Bai and the others what exactly happened. Suddenly the boy's pretty face leans close to the Duke. Mikhail, are my eyes blue? The Grand Duke almost got lost in that stunning beauty. Then he nodded. Hearing this, the boy happily swung his legs. Being able to wiggle his toes felt amazing. The Grand Duke looked at the boy's profile and chuckled. She thought the boy looked really handsome. Back at the Grand Duke's mansion, the boy got new clothes. Staring at himself in the mirror, he realized he couldn't sleep on pillows anymore, so he asked to sleep in the guest room. This left the Grand Duke confused. What are you talking about? You'll sleep here, of course. The boy got upset hearing this. That's too much. Does he want him to sleep on the floor? The Grand Duke thought the boy was being weird, and was about to say something when he saw that innocent, beautiful face. He turned around helplessly and sighed. The boy blurted out angrily, why'd you stop talking? Are we supposed to lie down together? But the Grand Duke didn't refuse. Now the boy was totally confused. But he didn't dare refuse rashly either. What if he made him angry again? Even if this Grand Duke isn't that Grand Duke, it doesn't change his workaholic nature. After the Grand Duke decided to find someone reliable to help, the next day he got in a carriage and headed to the palace. Since it was a spur-of-the-moment decision, he went alone, which made him feel a bit lonely. Suddenly a figure appeared beside him. The boy asked where he was going. The Grand Duke suddenly realized he felt lonely because the boy wasn't there, but he preferred to believe he was just spooked by this weird situation. The Grand Duke told the Emperor everything. Hearing such an absurd story, the Emperor thought his friend had lost his mind. Quick, get the royal healer. My friend needs his head examined. The Grand Duke stopped him in time, insisting what he said was true. Seeing the Grand Duke's strong reaction, and his expression didn't look fake, he had no choice but to believe this doll turning into a person thing. After thinking it over, he agreed to help investigate. Only he could look into something this bizarre. The Grand Duke finally relaxed and thanked the Emperor sincerely. The Emperor watched the Grand Duke leave, and started wondering what kind of doll could make the Grand Duke, who never asks for favors, come ask him personally. The moment the Grand Duke got home, the boy rushed over. The boy hoped he could go out and look around. But before he could finish, the Grand Duke shut him down. The boy felt so wronged, he finally became human. And he heard from Li Bai that there's lots of good food outside. He grabbed the Grand Duke's sleeve and looked at him. Please, my Hai, let me go out and have fun. The Grand Duke sighed, and finally agreed to the boy's request. But the condition was he had to come along. The boy was thrilled and skipped off to get ready. The Grand Duke also realized at that moment he couldn't hide a living person. Too bad. If only he could hide him like a doll. The Grand Duke's mood swings are really scary. The boy decided to play dumb and went straight to sleep. The Grand Duke looked at the boy, his heart beating faster. He knew right away the boy must have used the wrong bath wall. That was something the Emperor especially gave him use for relaxation. After kicking the boy out, he could finally calm down. He started wondering if he overreacted. The boy only became human a few hours ago. How could he already have expectations? The boy kicked outside felt sad. After becoming human, the dragon he didn't recognize him then. He sat on the floor crying silently. The Grand Duke came out thinking the boy was sick. The boy shook his head explaining he was much better. Then admitted he heard his friend's voice. Though the Grand Duke's face darkened when he pressed the boy about his relationship with his friend. The boy frowned. What's with this attitude? Li Bai in the original story must have had a headache dealing with the moody Grand Duke too. But to stop the Grand Duke from going crazy, he answered we're childhood friends. The really close kind, like they shared the same pants. Then the boy awkwardly changed the subject, hoping he could go rest. After getting the Grand Duke's approval, he hummed a tune and left, but the Grand Duke's mind was a mess. Could the boy's friend really be as close as he thinks? As the lights dimmed, the boy propped himself up and told the Grand Duke to get some rest, then passed right out. Listening to the steady breathing beside him, the Grand Duke felt his heart settle down. Only now did he truly feel the reality of it all becoming human. But was this a good thing? The transformation looked so painful. That means there might be a problem. Even though he's a Grand Duke with great power and endless wealth, with something this mysterious, he should find someone reliable to help. The Grand Duke spent money like water on the boy. The boy finally got outside. The bustling, peaceful streets were exactly like he imagined. But he barely got excited when the Grand Duke made him wear a hat. He'd spent so long picking out nice clothes. Now he couldn't see anything with it covered up. But the Grand Duke's forceful attitude left the boy no choice but to obey. Almost in tears, he just wanted to check out some interesting shops to lift his spirits. Compared to the boy feeling wronged, the Grand Duke was thinking much more. This was his territory. If people saw the boy standing with him, they'd definitely be gossip. He couldn't stand the boy being treated like that. Better to go somewhere no one could see them. The boy had no clue what the Grand Duke was thinking and just kept taking deep breaths. He hadn't breathed such fresh air in forever. Mid-sentence, the boy suddenly got drawn to a dessert shop nearby. Isn't that ice cream? They have that here too. The Grand Duke was about to say something when he noticed the shopkeeper staring at the boy. This made the Grand Duke feel threatened. He told the boy to put his hat on properly. But the shopkeeper kept looking at the boy's face. The Grand Duke frowned, grabbed the boy, and pulled him away. The Grand Duke startled the boy, who complained quietly. But soon the boy's attention got caught by a nearby circus. My hi, let's go see the circus show. He had never seen one before. Seeing the Grand Duke looking reluctant, the boy grabbed his hand, then started acting cute with that pretty face. Well, can't you watch it once with me? You said you'd keep me company. The Grand Duke was instantly speechless. He realized the boy already figured out how to handle him. But they arrived too late, there were no good seats left. Seeing this, the Grand Duke pulled out a whole bag of gold coins. The shiny money bag instantly blinded two passersby. Problem solved. They got the best seats in the house. When the boy got bullied, the Grand Duke instantly got furious. Last time the boy and the Grand Duke finally got front row seats. The boy was really excited about the upcoming show. He heard a staff member selling popcorn nearby. His stomach started rumbling. Mahaya Wanda. Peanuts are healthy. Should be fine. The boy handed the gold coin from the Grand Duke to the staff. The staff's face changed. It's a gold coin. The boy also realized something was off. This felt like writing a check at a stationery store. The Grand Duke closed his eyes, a bit helpless. He told the boy not to make a big deal out of it. In the end, the boy got a drink, popcorn, and a big bag of change. He put the money away and promised the Grand Duke he'd take good care of it. The performances had the boy amazed. My hi, what'd you think of their performance? The Grand Duke just gave a bland response, but the boy smiled brightly. If my hi thinks it's good, then I think it's good. Finally came the grand finale, a puppet show. All kinds of dolls, under the puppeteer's control, started interacting with the audience. But the Grand Duke noticed something odd. Before he could do anything, a doll came right up to them. Who are you two in those long robes? The boy didn't notice anything wrong and kindly explained he wasn't anyone suspicious. As the doll was about to move closer, the Grand Duke snapped. That's enough. This circus performance is just to pickpocket the audience, isn't it? The boy looked down and sure enough, the money pouch at his waist was gone. The puppeteer got mad, and not only cursed but pushed the boy to the ground. That completely crossed the Grand Duke's line. The Grand Duke threw off his cloak. You people, add insulting nobility to the charges. The boy finally became human, but turned back into a doll. Last time, the boy and the Grand Duke watched the circus, but got bullied by a performer. The Grand Duke got angry and the performer instantly went in the knees. He collapsed on the ground begging the Grand Duke for forgiveness. But the Grand Duke wasn't so easy to talk to. He immediately wanted to punish him by law. The boy panicked too. He just wanted to avoid the original plot. But why couldn't he escape it? He tugged on the Grand Duke's sleeve. My hi, let's just go. Show everyone your generous spirit. He also signaled the performer to wise up. The performer realized he was saved and immediately shouted he'd return all the money. The boy also said he was hungry and wanted to go back and rest. The Grand Duke and the boy locked eyes for a while. He finally gave. Then he barked at the performer. This is your only warning, but you better apologize properly to him. Back home, the boy finally had time to think. In the original plot, the Grand Duke only cared about Li Bai, but today he did all that for him. My hi, thanks for today. The next day, the Grand Duke got up early to work, but his mind was all on the boy. Compared to the flattery around him, he preferred the boy's innocent honesty. Thinking this, the Grand Duke just got up and left to find the boy. Ever since the boy became human, he'd been anxious, worried the boy would vanish without warning. But when he opened the bedroom door, the boy was gone. He couldn't find the boy anywhere. The Grand Duke was breathing hard. He should have locked him up so the boy couldn't go anywhere. He steadied himself and thought of the plan. Less than 20 minutes since he left. The boy must still be in the house. Suddenly he noticed movement in the blanket. He pulled it back and it was the doll version of the boy. What happened? Why'd you turn back? The boy bawled. He wanted to know too. How did he wake up as a doll again? The boy turning into a doll was because of dark magic. Last time the boy woke up as a doll. The Grand Duke's focus was whether he heard his friend's voice. The boy laughed awkwardly. Sometimes he couldn't understand my high's thought process either. Just then, a guard rushed in to say there was a visitor. The Grand Duke was annoyed. Who's interrupting his rest? Hey, don't take it out on others. After all, who can stop the Emperor from going anywhere? This is my arrival and I surprise. The boy stopped pretending to be a doll and got up to ask what he wanted. I came to say something that can't be known by other royals. It's about the boy. The Grand Duke asked him earlier to investigate the boy. While he didn't have answers about how he became a doll, he asked the wizard. There's an ancient dark magic called soul transfer for immortality. Hearing dark magic, the Grand Duke sat up. How could a cotton ball be connected to dark magic? The Grand Duke's face changed because no matter who it was, anyone connected to dark magic gets burned at the stake. The Emperor immediately told the Grand Duke to destroy the doll. Seeing no reaction, he decided to do it himself. With a clang, the Grand Duke's attack was blocked. The Emperor kept trying to reason with him, but the Grand Duke insisted the boy wasn't a product of dark magic. As your friend, I can't just stand by. But you're swinging a sword at me. The Grand Duke wouldn't back down either. Exactly because we're friends, I didn't really swing. Finally, the Emperor pulled back. You still hate people touching your stuff, just like before. Both of them ordered their guards to stand down. The boy's life was saved, but he was totally lost. What just happened?